Platforms are changing, consumer behavior is changing, and some businesses are still stuck in 2021. Hey guys, I'm Thaddeus Tandu. I am the CEO of On Purpose Media. We are a digital marketing agency that builds websites, does SEO and Google Ads for home service businesses. We've got a team of 14 people, and I'm a very staunch advocate of building a great organizational culture. Of course, this video is nothing to do with organizational culture, but all about the 3 trends that I'm watching. There's more than this. These are 3 top ones that I'm looking at for the remainder of 2025 and into the beginning of 2026. And of course, with the rapid advancements and changes in AI and technology, this could be outdated in 3 months' time. But if it is, I'll do another video, and you should probably hit that subscribe button so that way you can see what's going to change in 3, 6, 9 months' time on 3 trends that I'm watching. Let's dive in. Number 1, AI generated content. I'm going to put a huge asterisk and a caveat on this. AI has made it super easy to be able to create blogs, to be able to hit onto the internet. Like super easy. Anybody can go and say, write me an article on AC repair in Calgary, and it'll spit out an article. Didn't say it's a good article. Okay? So you still have to have this presence of mind to know that AI might not necessarily do it that great for you. You need to prompt it the right way. Now, full disclosure, in On Purpose Media, we do use AI in our content generation process. But here's the difference, is that we actually have a human do an actual legitimate great prompt. We've perfected that, in my opinion. AI then writes the content. We then have that human review the content to make sure that there's no funny things in there. And we've seen it time and again where AI puts silly things in there. It just doesn't quite work as well. I love this one. It's actually happened a couple times. It hasn't been recently, but it has happened a few times, where we talked about an indoor air quality in indoor air purification unit. And in the article, it said that having an indoor air purification unit, increasing the air quality of your home to make it better, will actually help with erectile dysfunction. And then it put a link to WebMD erectile dysfunction, where WebMD didn't talk anything about the indoor air quality helping out with it. But like, imagine if you just blindly hit publish. Think about that one. Try to explain that to somebody when they call and say, hey, I read on your website that an indoor air purification will help with my erectile dysfunction. Right? So again, there's these crazy things that happen with inside of AI that you got to be careful on. The other thing is you can write ads, right? Like I've prompted it to write some ads for us. We'll use it for email, which is powerful to use emails and respin it and rewrite it. So it's faster content creation at scale. Now, some people wonder, okay, well, is this going to take the content creator's job or my job? No, it's actually going to enhance it. And I actually think that the people that are creative enough to be able to review and put it in together are going to be the ones that are going to be moving forward with this AI generated content. And look, it's nothing new. It's been around for a long time. But again, it's continue something to watch, right? I'm actually curious to see what's going to happen in November 2025. So generally, Google does a big algorithm update twice a year, usually in the fall, usually in the spring. Last fall, 2024, I can actually definitively look at somebody's website results rankings and can tell you if they're using blind AI content or not by what happened in November 2024. The ones that did, there goes your rankings, because Google doesn't want AI stuff on there. They want to make sure that it's relevant and helpful to the end human. So making sure that you're humanizing the content and not just pushing out blind willy-nilly content. Another one is video first branding. I believe that a lot of companies are moving towards the video branding and the video first, and doing these things to be able to showcase the brand in video format is going to be a key factor to be able to watch, especially as it becomes ease of use to be able to put out content, right? Again, too much content is a bad thing. Don't just put out content for the sake of content. But looking back to this video creation, well, how does this apply to you and the brand? By the way, this is a real human video. It is seeing AI can't do that, right? Maybe it could. I don't really know. But there are programs out there that I could feed it a script and it would write it and it would be good, but they wouldn't be able to be crazy arms on that. So making sure that if you are going to use the technology to be able to do that, to humanize and make it real, so to speak. So if you are using AI generated content, make sure it just looks real. I mean, people saw the video from VO3 that came out, and it was actually an ad that appeared in the NBA Finals. There was one guy that took him like a day and a half to do that. That was a little clunky and disjointed, and it didn't quite have the arc of the storytelling element, but that's where the creative people come and play. One other thing to keep in mind when you're doing the video generation content is just don't post photos and just don't do the same thing over and over again. Show the team, show the people, show everything behind it, because when you make it real, there's that realizing it's like when you make it real, Now people are engaged in that because that's really about humanizing it. I've had a couple other videos in the last little while where I talk about the customer experience and making sure that you humanize things. I think that's going to be a pivotal thing as we go forward, especially with these video branding ideas, is humanizing it. Number 3 is hyperlocal targeting. Look, hyperlocal targeting has been around for a long time already, but it's going to become even more relevant and pertinent in owning your backyard. When you think about this, there's ways that you can do this via direct mail or community magazines if those exist in your area. But you can also do this online. You can hyper-local target on Facebook. You can we changed the rules a little bit in terms of people that are in this area now to people that were in or recently in the area. But you can definitely do this on Google Ads to make sure that you're targeting hyper-local into that area and owning your backyard. I actually had a conversation with a home service business the other day, and I don't want to target the entirety of the city with Google Ads. I actually want to focus on these 3 key areas and little suburbs that are affluent in the area. That's it. I really want to focus on that for this part of my business. Now, obviously, the repair go a little bit wider. But what he wanted to focus on specifically were those areas. But again, hyper local, right? When your vehicles are always in the same place over and over and over again. This goes back to point number 2 when I talked about the video branding and creating that brand. Also with the relevant local content that you're going to be writing in point number 1. These are the things that are going to matter to be able to really cascade your business in the latter half of 2025 and especially into 2026. Here's a bonus 4th one, is that getting local and personal. By personal, I mean in person, right? If you can find ways to be in local communities and local areas in smaller parts of bigger cities where you can be part of that community, you can go to their community events, you can show up, you can get FaceTime. Okay, you can get FaceTime. Here's the other thing is record that content because then you can use point number 2 to be able to do that. And then when you record that content, use point number 1. When you do the local events, now you're leveraging point number 3 of hyper-local targeting, but then you can then create content. You can actually reverse back to create the content, which is point number 2. And then with point number 2, you can actually take some of that to be able to do point number 1, where you're talking about what you did in the local community. See what I'm saying? Like this all connects the dots together for local businesses and home service business to really be dialed into this in 2025 and into 2026. So hopefully that a couple random thoughts that were on my mind on some of the predictions that I'm going to see for 2025. So if you like this video, of course, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to hear from you in the comments as well, good or bad, on what you think, what you thought was helpful for this video or not helpful from this video for that matter. But of course, I will see you on the next video.